What's going on, dudes and dudettes? This video is mostly going to be about USC football recruiting, a little bit of more USC miscellaneous news, so I know most of you like that, so we'll get on to this video first and probably have another video of my other teams and stuff at some point, whether it's later on today or most likely tomorrow as well. So get into some of the bigger news. Yes, Tatum, the #1 or #2 running back, wherever you look, is looking to finally make his selection, his commitment on, I believe it's July 21st, so coming up soon. And of course, it just has to be between the two teams that have been trying to go at him the most in USC and Oklahoma. Obviously, we heard a bit more momentum about Oklahoma recently just because of the coaching for the baseball team, and he's looking to really play baseball once he goes into college and all this stuff. And yeah, USC did have a nice turnaround for their baseball program, but I don't know. It's still, you know, a baby, as they say. It's a nice turnaround overall, but I don't know if he will be willing to jump. I know Deuce Robinson, the top tight end / one of the top baseball prospects out there, did this last year, but who knows if Tatum will want that either, because I know he has a pretty good relationship with not only the baseball coach, but the running backs coach and his recruiter out there in Oklahoma, and DeMarco Murray. So we'll see. Hoping for the best. I know we did lose out to Xavier Brown. He did officially say he's going to Alabama on Sunday, and even Dylan Williams, who there was some chatter about maybe him wanting to take an official visit to USC later in the next coming months. He did decide to go to Oregon on Friday, I believe it was. So having a couple bit of strikeouts on some local guys in California, but either way, it was just kind of like an up in the air if USC was going to get a chance to get those guys anyway. But either way, I still think there's some good shots at Kingston Viliamo-Asa coming up in the next couple of weeks, the linebacker from St. John Bosco, and a couple other guys. But did want to talk about a couple other players that it does kind of hurt that USC is not in their final 2 or 8 as it so comes out to be. So one of the top other running backs, he's either #1 or #2 in the nation, in Nate Frazier, who plays for the Modern Day Monarchs out there in Orange County. He recently released his top 8, and sadly, of course, the hometown team, USC, even UCLA, isn't even in his top 8, which is pretty crazy for one of the top local products out here in California. So it does suck to lose out on him, especially if USC does end up striking out on Tatum, as I mentioned right before. But we will see. Maybe some more months to talk with him, and you know, he's in USC's backyard. Maybe they can convince him to add him in his top 8 or maybe final 5. You never know. Then one of the top linebackers I've been hearing the past couple years out there in the state of Washington was Braden Platts. I thought he was maybe going to stay up there at one of those schools, but it looks like he's down to only 2 schools in there, Oregon and Oklahoma, which sucks because I understand it, because they're both led by the defensive coaches as their main head coach, and obviously Lincoln Riley is the offensive guy, and not many people trust if Alex Grinch can really turn around this USC defense after how bad of a season it was towards the end of last year. But I don't know. We'll see. I still have some belief that he could turn it around. Luckily, he is a 2025 guy. I'm sorry, 2024 guy. So still have some months to be able to try to persuade him to come to USC by this December or next February as well. But yeah, so a couple of the 2 top guys that I wanted USC to get at the running back and linebacker position. And of course, they look like they're striking out as of right now, but hoping for the best in the next couple months. So the 4-star edge, Jalen Harvey, out of the Washington, D.C. area, recently, I believe, yeah, he did visit USC during that big June month or weekend in the middle of June. And so he had an official visit, and I guess USC has still been high on his list, so he still wants to take a couple more visits. And he says USC is pretty much in the running, so that's pretty good to get another guy from that DC area, because even like Caleb Williams, the quarterback, Marshawn Lloyd, the running back, there's a lot of guys on the team as well from that DMV area, as they call it. So maybe they could add another one, because he is one of the top 4-star edge players out there in the 2024 class. And then a 4-star linebacker in the 2024 class, Chris Cole, recently put USC in his top 8 or final 8, however you want to say it. So at least they have a chance at another linebacker in case some other things do go south. But yeah, he's a pretty good athletic player as well, so not too shabby here. So recently On3 had a bunch of movement in their rankings for these commits coming out of high school next year. And a lot of the USC guys, at least 4 or 5 of them, were messed up, or a lot of them did jump up pretty high, but some of them did move back a couple spots as well, which is kind of interesting because I know a lot of people have mentioned, like, I think it was certain outlets out there that might not put a USC commit in more favor because he is committed to USC, but if he was committed to another school, say like Alabama or Ohio State, he would jump up in the rankings compared to USC, where they might go down or just stay the same. So it is kind of weird, like, how that works, why USC gets a bad rap, because they do bring in a lot of talented guys. But right now, the highest ranked player in their class, who was pretty much the highest ranked at the time, even before this, was the local Cali wide receiver, Xavier Jordon. He recently went from, I want to get these numbers correct, he jumped up to number 54, which is 18 spots from where he was, so that's pretty cool. I'm just going to go through the list of the other guys real quick. So Marcellus Williams, the top cornerback from St. John Bosco, dropped to number 90, so he's still a top 90 player overall, but that's kind of weird he dropped. Ryan Pelham, the guy who recently committed, the wide receiver, local guy, went from number 92 to 84, so that was a nice jump. Cameron Fountain probably had the biggest jump, the defensive end from Georgia, I believe it was. He went from 146 to number 103, so that's at least up 43 spots, so that is really good to see. And then the offensive lineman from Texas, Jason Zandamela, went from number 98 to 105, so he dropped out of the top 100, but still pretty close right there. So either way, I still think it's overall a nice looking class as of right now. A lot of the lower guys as well have a chance to move up, like David Pale. A couple of those other guys, maybe a Hayden Treater as well. Maybe the guy, I believe it's Elijah Newby, the linebacker from Connecticut. Excuse me, also. So the class could look to have some better numbers in the near future, or at least once these guys get their senior season going and their football season starts, and see how good they're playing and their stats and all that stuff, how they're dominating the competition as well. So that's pretty cool to see. And then the House of Victory had a recent signing. They've had some couple, I think they signed like another women's basketball player and a women's soccer player. I forgot to get those 2 names, but I did get the football player, Rajon Davis, who was, I think is going into his 3rd year in the program, so that was pretty cool. They're able to get him. I kind of like to see certain players that are getting signed to this House of Victory, because it kind of leaves me an indication that they're going to be sticking around longer than just this season, in my opinion. But you just never know how those contracts are working. But either way, I kind of like to think of it as a half glass full, that they are going to end up staying for at least another season or 2. So that's what I'm hoping for. And then, yes, Caleb Williams recently threw out the first pitch for the LA Dodgers. Brought out pretty much all of the offensive line to come out there and help him do that celebration and stuff. So that was pretty cool. It's kind of weird because he's throwing out the first pitch there, but he's getting a bobblehead. I think it was August 10th against Colorado. So it's kind of weird how he was there like a month in advance. You'd think he would have thrown the first pitch out when he's getting his bobblehead released, but I guess not. I guess that's how maybe he's in fall practice and stuff, so he won't be able to get out there. So he'll be working on the football field, getting better. So I can understand that from that perspective. So either way, it was pretty cool. I heard he threw a pretty bad pitch. It was pretty much off the plate, so it wasn't good, but maybe he was just trying to throw a fastball. Obviously, he has a great arm as a quarterback, so pretty sure he was a little bit off circuit. But either way, it's a pretty cool experience overall. Now I want to end this video on some bit more better news going into the future when it comes to the 2025 class. So guys who are going into the junior season right now when it comes to the football recruiting for USC. USC leads in about like 8 or so of the top guys from California. They're already leading percentage-wise on the on-3 prediction meter. So I want to get through these names because there are a lot of big-time names, and hoping that USC can get them, because they did get most of these guys in this last year, but they are losing out to some of them. But hoping that talking about them will get some good mojo towards USC in the future. But to start off, one of the top guys is the cornerback Dijon Lee. He's leading at like 97.5% for USC, so that's really good. The 4-star edge Nasir Wyatt, I believe he's from Modern Day, where USC is leading at 60.2%. 4-star running back Jordon Davison, USC is leading at 48.2%. 4-star wide receiver Phillip, USC is leading at 25.7%. 4-star safety Jadyn Hudson, USC has a 30.8% chance. 4-star linebacker Noah Mikhail, hopefully I'm saying that correct. He's from Verne, I believe. USC is leading 33.3%. Another 4-star linebacker Madden Faraimo, hopefully I'm saying that correct as well. USC is leading at 35.1%. I believe he's from San Diego, but I think he's moving up to play at Modern Day, so that's a pretty nice get for the Orange County team out there. Then 4-star cornerback Darius Dixon, USC is leading at 26.6%. And on this list, they did have like a wild card guy who maybe isn't percentage-wise leaning towards USC, or I don't even know if USC has even offered him, surprisingly, because he is from Modern Day, if I'm not mistaken. But there's definitely, according to Scott Schrader, who works for WeAreSC.com and On3, has said that this is probably one of his favorite wide receivers and players overall in that 2025 class, and thinks he has immense talent. So hopefully USC does end up getting going on a local guy and can get him into that class. And there's a couple other guys who are at least talking good about USC, or thinking things are going well at USC, so they're definitely going to be considering them in the near future in 2025 when their commitments come up. So I want to get into those names quick. So that wild card wide receiver was Marcus Harris. There's another top elite wide receiver in Andrew Marsh. A top 100 offensive tackle in Owen Straybig. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. And a top 100 interior offensive lineman, S.J. Alofetuli. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. But yes, a lot of very talented dudes, even in the 2025 class. Not only the California guys, but also other guys around the country are still considering USC, like what they're seeing, and hoping that this season as well could be a good thing for USC. Also, at least a step forward in the right direction right before they go into the Big Ten Conference and play the likes of Ohio State, Michigan, all those crazy teams. So either way, I think it's nice momentum for the recruiting class in the future, and things are definitely looking up. And it's just obvious. I think this is only happening because Lincoln Riley, this last season in his first year, I think they won 11 games. They were one win away from getting into the Final Four, pretty much, to play in that playoff in his very first year. And the team wasn't as good as it could be, and pretty much looks like it with the type of players they have right now who transferred in and all that stuff. So, I don't know. Sky's the limit for this team. They're going to go as far as Caleb Williams will take them and this defense. So, we'll see. Just hoping for the best. So, yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Bye.